Can you expand your mind? Hi and welcome to Anavich Tarot. Today I'm back with some more messages that I feel need to be delivered for whoever needs to hear this. Before I start the message, my last reading, it's a 19-minute collective reading, and that is the first reading in which I was starting to receive messages that, like, their spirit is trying to align logic to whatever it is that I'm doing, like the next course of action or the next way of thinking. And so the way they're showing it to me or making me understand it is through quantum physics. Now, I am an arts. I feel I have a natural ability to understand psychology and quantum physics, like not in the literate way because obviously I haven't studied it, but it's just out of pure interest for wanting to understand the mind and how it works and how it's playing a role in the overall life that we are living. Quantum physics, I understand, like, again, not in, if you was to start using terms with me, I wouldn't understand it, but I understand what it's trying to say, the message from the subject. And again, because it has to do with consciousness and the universe and the cosmos and how it works, and I have an interest in that area. I'm just gonna get right into this. So this is a visual that came to me. This was on the 6th of February, and this is a visual that came to me after my meditation because it was trying to, pass on a message to me. So I don't know how this is going to be taken. I'm a little nervous about this message. I hope you guys find it interesting or understandable or relatable. So this is the image, okay? This is like, so I was imagining this ball of light, which is source. So imagining source or God, whatever that energy, as a ball of light that contains everything in it. Okay, so this is source, and so this energy is all intelligence, all emotions, all reason, all knowledge, all wisdom, all technology. Everything is in this ball. And so this ball is conscious. And so, like, if you were to put it as, like, so this ball could be like a person, okay, for our better understanding. And this is got these VR glasses on, those big glasses, you wear them and you feel like you're in a different world. They use them for the video games and things. So this ball has got these glasses on, and these glasses, what it does on the other side is it splits this consciousness into the various, what we now have as us people, human beings, okay? So this is the glasses, and this is the split of the consciousness, and these heads here are the human beings it splits to. Now, because it's from the source, so they are also have these VRs which project their own reality onto the life that they live. So the main consciousness splitting into different parts of itself, those parts have a different, like, they have the same makeup but in different degrees. Some might have it less, some might have it more, some, some have it common, some don't, like that. So they all have the same ability, they come from the same consciousness, so they have the same makeup, the same. attributes or the same personality but in different areas because of the varying degree of which part of the consciousness is more active or alive in the person. Okay, so after this, um, then it made me understand that this consciousness is creation energy or the energy of creation. So which means the main work for it to do would be to create. And you can only create as much as you can imagine. Now, given that this source has this vast awareness and imagination, that it creates everything like the cosmos, okay? And then it trickles down to, now we all know how, okay, we might not all know this, but there is this thing about how us human beings were created. The Anunnaki movie, if anybody has watched, or you might want to watch, it talks about human evolution and how there were different types of human beings before we were the normal human beings that we are today. So, not getting into conspiracy theory, I just say that in the way I'm understanding everything, like this makes sense in the whole picture of putting all this together somewhere, but that's a different topic altogether. All right, so finally this consciousness comes down to the point where it's a human being. All right, now, so we all know that in the beginning there was nothing, there was just land and humans, and whatever they needed they created from there, and so hence we have everything that now exists around us, which was once thought in the mind and now it's being made a physical thing. So if I created a cup, nobody knows what a cup is, or it's called a cup, but you know what it does. So you create a cup and you say this is a cup, and everybody looks at it and agrees and says this is a cup. Okay, hold that understanding. This understanding, like, keep it at the back of your mind. Okay, like, you know, this is a given and it's at the back of the mind, and this understanding, from here now we're looking at things. So, and then the human being started to realize that you are different from me, and that's when the split happens from you and me, because it's one consciousness, we are all the same. But when we start to when we start to become aware of the differences between us, we split from that consciousness, and I become me and you become you. Okay, the physical makeup is synced with the laws of the earth. So as a human being, I obey the laws of this realm, the earth, planet earth. Like, whatever I can do is because the law of the planet allows me. The law of the planet means there is gravity. Okay, this is how we walk, or we can walk. This is what you can do. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the physical makeup is synced with the law of the earth realm, like a video game character confined to the program and realm his maker could conjure up in his mind. So now they're explaining to me this vision that they gave me, and this is how they're explaining how life, like a different way of looking at whatever is going on around us, a different way of understanding this. Consciousness is either a straight line or a circle depending on how you see it. So this is consciousness. You know, you start, you grow, and you keep moving forward. Or it can be a circle, like death and rebirth, that is also, you know, growth of consciousness. So it can be a straight line and it can be a circle. Like the video game character dies and comes back every time the player decides to restart. Okay, so in this case, the player being that main consciousness and the video game character being us. So the character comes back to life, but with a new way of tactic, the player learns from the previous life. So connecting to consciousness, consciousness doesn't die, it's just the body that dies and consciousness transforms. So hence the idea of rebirth and having these past memories that come up as skills, as gifts, as things that we easily understand because we have done it somewhere in a past life. Okay, so you bring that memory back into this character. So now the video game character does not know that he has died and he's come back with this knowledge, but the player knows that. So the video game character's movements is based on the player's learning. So new life, old lessons and learning, and then learning new ones from this life. So this is how the player keeps evolving through this character that he keeps playing every life. Now zooming out from that and into life, if you are the creator, come to experience, learn and grow, also having your own magic in the form of your own limits, abilities, characteristics, lessons and wisdom. How do you want to apply it to your future or now choices that are going to in a way affect your future? So this was the whole message that it tried to show me, how we are playing roles depending on our awareness, conscious awareness. So in a sense, how we are affecting our life and the quality of our life through our choices, and are either aware or not aware of how it is affecting day-to-day life. So I asked why this split, and or you might ask, so why did it have to split itself? Like it's everything. Why would you want to do this to us? So the answer I got was, I don't know, maybe it was bored with itself, a dangerous sense of humor. So I never got an answer to this question, like as to why would consciousness decide, except the understanding that it is an energy of creation. Its main characteristic is creation. So holding all that knowledge inside, it automatically creates, and in creating, this is what it has created. Now in this form, I might say, like, why like this? It might have created in another form, but nonetheless it is going to create something or the other, and as part of that creation with a conscious awareness, I have the ability to question why. But this is my only understanding to the answer. Okay. And also on the other side, maybe it didn't create, like, if it's wearing VR glasses and we are all just a represent, or all just a character in that same conscious mind, then maybe it hasn't even created us, and this is just, we are just inside the dream that conscious mind is having, or that consciousness is having. I don't know. Okay, what's the point? Maybe there is no point. The point is what you make it. The realm has its own moral code set by default. To push that point is our own soul's choice or not. When I say moral code, what I mean is everything is cause and effect, right? So whatever you say or do or intend, whether you are aware or not, it is creating an effect in either your near future or very far out future, but it is causing a ripple effect into everything. Okay. So we all know this. Okay. But like, how aware are we of how deeply it is affecting us. And why is it not possible that if we all have the ability, why is it not possible that all of us can be it or do it? Like to understand this and live as if, or live according to. How do you know for sure if these things are happening as part of your conscious mind's creation? The answer is you can't, because your limit is your own imagination, and it's something you have to find out. Surety comes from the experiences you have. It's something unseen, only felt, and it becomes real. So these are the feelings or the things that we notice on a day-to-day basis that makes us feel like we are connected. Something outside of us is connecting with us or is talking to us based on experiences that if we were to tell somebody else, it would seem very normal, maybe coincidence, or you're making it to be too much. But within you, you know that that experience, like whatever it looks like, was something. Like it could be something as simple as a leaf falling, but the timing of the leaf falling, or the way the leaf falls, or where it falls, or the color of the leaf, or the position of the leaf, or the shape of the leaf, there's a message in there only you were meant to know. So I feel like, this information, if you are somebody that is already on your journey, then probably you would resonate with this, because this is like, if you're asking how do, like, all this sounds very great, but how do I do it, then this is, telling you how to do it, and not feel like, it's woo woo, or like, yes, there is an element of magic, but there's also a logical reasoning for things to happen. But at the same time, like, it's a very thin line. At the same time, you need to understand that you cannot understand everything. Like you cannot completely know who you are. If we're talking about limits, then only, like, when you say I can't, that's a limit you are setting for yourself. If you were to push yourself, you don't know whether you can go beyond that I can't or not, right? So, like, even you don't know who you are until you explore yourself. So to be able to understand that consciousness and what it holds is something that you can only experience the more you connect with it. And like, so now, like, why should I connect with it? because because it's where we come from, okay? And like, if not connect with it, then what even is your soul doing here? Just work, family, and die? Like, there has to be more to the magic that you are, right? Us human beings, however ordinary we see ourselves, the fact is that we're magic. Each person is magic. Like, think about the way your own system works. So I don't know who was meant to hear or connect with this, but I really hope that this makes sense. This is the logic Spirit was trying to give me to what is happening, and to make this, how to do this journey, a little easier to understand. Because a lot of us are waking up, a lot of the youth are waking up daily asking, who am I and what is my purpose? And a lot of them are coming up with a lot of amazing stories and experiences and understandings. At one point, this hype is going to go silent, And that is the time where you're going to have to make a choice. Do I want to continue to explore what opened up in me, or what that opening was trying to show me, or I want to choose the easy way out, like maybe go back to. So I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons. So after that, so this was on the 6th, and on the 7th, this message continued, and there's another angle that Spirit gave me. So this is where the quantum physics part comes in. So the universe has a 50-50 probability ratio of things working out or not working out. So now they took me to, so this 50-50 probability ratio in that time, in the month of December when I first started talking about quantum physics, they were talking to me about the cat in the box theory. Like what I said, I don't know these things because this is not my subject, but I understand the meaning of what they're trying to say. So the meaning of the experiment is, there's a cat, it's in the box there, and there's a radiation, like a radioactive, some radiation over there in the box. That's triggered or not triggered, again I'm not sure about that, but the experiment is to understand this 50-50 probability ratio of the cat inside the box. Until the box is closed, the cat is both alive and dead. There's a probability. Maybe the radiation worked and the cat died, or maybe it didn't work and the cat's alive. So until you open the box, there's a probability of both possibilities happening over there. The moment you open the box and you observe, you look at the cat, then you, I think I spoke about this, I don't know, then you seal that, freeze that line, that probability gets established that the cat is alive or dead, whichever way. Okay, so now this also moves into, like, the deeper you go into this experiment and what it's trying to say and things like that, it comes to a point where it's talking about how it comes into the understanding of timeline shifting or timeline jumping. So everything, everything is a possibility unless you observe it. When you observe something, it becomes fixed. Okay, that's what the experiment is trying to say. So if you put it in life, whatever it is that we observe, intentionally or unintentionally, whatever you observe gets more established, in more fixed into the reality around you. Okay, so that aside, that is one experiment, that this is what they were trying to explain to me. And then the next message, this is yesterday, where so on the 6th, and so for 2 days they've been talking to me about the split light theory. Okay, so this is about shining a light through two slits, and the light goes through the slit. And in one experiment, again I will put that also here, in one experiment, like you can google it, and this is like my knowledge of, I haven't even read the books, okay, I just, like, this popped in my mind and I wanted to fully understand what the theory was. So I went to Google and I put, I don't even know what it's called, so I put light split theory, and Google gave me this. And so this is my understanding from there. So if I'm not fully right, I apologize. Again, I will say not my subject, but this is how Spirit tried to explain this to me. Maybe I don't need to know the whole thing. Maybe it's just the main bits that needed to, for my understanding. Okay, so according to this, there's a light, it's shining through two slits in a wall, and the reflection is what is being observed. The reflection on the other side is what is being observed. Now, in this theory over here, at one point in this theory, when the light is being observed, it acts like a particle, but when the light is not being observed, it acts like a wave. Okay, so what is the difference between wave and particle? So waves interface, all right? So they have these wiggly, the wave has this wiggly nature, right? So they have the ability to inter to cross each other, and those crossings are what causes, you know, the timeline split. It's where you meet and you move. Okay, so also wave exists beyond time and space. That is the nature of a wave. Whereas a particle is something more fixed. The moment you observe it, it becomes a constant. It becomes a, like, not fixed as in, but it's like said, you know, like a 3D thing, like a solid thing. All right. So that is the difference between wave and particle. So why this experiment? According to the light split theory, when observed, the photons or light behave like particles, and when not observed, they behave like waves. Why? What if the observation added, this is now my understanding, or you know what spirit is trying to make me understand. Okay, before, maybe I don't know if this is the right thing to do. So what if observation added to the wave? Okay, because we're talking about, how do I how do I explain this? Should I say it now? Okay, so since we're talking about timeline shifting, okay, so these are all messages to, you know, to understand how to shift timelines. So this is a way to understand it. One of the ways, or my way to understand it, or the way spirit is trying to make me understand it. So, uh, shifting timelines, like I said, waves cause the interface, right? So, what is a wave? Wave is an energy. The light, or the source from where it is formed itself, is an energy, light energy. Like right now, what is happening on the planet, there is a new energy, there is a new awareness happening. Like a lot is happening cosmically, and if it's happening in the cosmos, it's also affecting the environment here on our planet. And if it is affecting our environment, it's also affecting us. So I feel like, you know, the sicknesses, the random sicknesses, and coming through those sicknesses, surviving them, I feel like that is us going through an upgrade in our system. I feel like there is a DNA change or a DNA shift that is happening. Why? Because I feel like we are we are at an age now where we are turning back to source consciousness. Okay, a lot of us are waking up and asking, questioning life. Okay, having awakenings. A lot of people are having awakenings. There's a lot of stories out there of people and their awakenings. Now, how does this connect to the light theory, right? Or we know that we have a chakra system in us. All right, the chakras are, you know, the imagination of the chakra is this lotus. It's bright, bright this color, bright that color. So it's a light within us. Okay, like literally a light source within us, caused from the fiction, caused from whatever it is caused from, there is a light source within us. So we are light. So we do have this physical mass. So obviously, laws of the planet, you cannot walk through a wall. All right. So now if we're talking about timeline shift, then how do I shift a timeline? Because it's not possible that you go to sleep today and you wake up in a different life tomorrow. That is not, we cannot do that. So what is the timeline shift? A timeline shift is creating a different life from the existing one. Okay, most of the time it will look like your very same life and all the same people and all the same things in that life, but the way they affect you or the way it feels to you or the way it brings you down is very different. So in a time where it used to be very stressful, it is now peaceful. That is a timeline shift. You've managed to do something different in the same environment to make a difference, physical difference to that environment. This is a physical thing. Okay, so that is how this light. So now in this experiment, light creates waves. We have light inside of us. The only way we can create waves is by raising our frequency. How do we raise our frequency? Is by the thoughts that we inculcate or the thoughts that we seed in our mind and in our day to day that keep us in high vibration. Okay, now coming back to when I spoke about the realm has its own moral code set in by default. I said this is talking about karma, like cause and effect. Okay, so there is no good and bad in terms of God or the universe. Like there is no good and bad. What you sow is what you reap in one way or the other. There is no debate or there is no way to avoid it. You can run from it to a certain degree, but you cannot. This is not something that can be avoided. Karma will be paid. I don't know why I just did that. Okay, karma will be paid. Okay, so, and that is the reason why the messages are talking about being able to be, or the importance of being conscious about the choices that you're making on a day-to-day basis, because these choices are the ones that are creating the waves that are hitting the next whatever is to happen in the future. Finally made sense. Okay, now I was thinking about the cat in the box theory, and my question is that, like, when you come to probability theory, most of the time the probability is zero, like it's a negative. Okay, so I wanted to know that how can I guarantee that probability to be a positive result. Then this took me into explaining why observation was important. Okay, so it says, what if observation added to the wave? If light is energy, everything is made up of energy, so everything is connected. When we observe, there is an energy transference. What if it adds to the light or wave, telling it that there's another energy, so it's being watched? No observance means clear energy. Put in real life, the more you observe, you add to the 50-50 chance. The aligned actions causes the speed of how fast it comes in. So if we were to observe our life, internal or external, closely, it would react like the intentions, which carries the energetic signature or the packet of information from our minds onto the outside that we are observing. All right, so creating what at first looks like a particle. something being like a rigid or a fixed situation, but on closer observation, it's a wave. It's a cause and effect of things that have been, you know, merging and building up to what it is that you're observing. So, since wave is not confined to space in terms of self, if we can bring ourselves to vibrate at a certain frequency, we can shift ourselves into a new timeline by the conscious, unique choices we make. So, if we were consciousness wearing the glasses that splits itself into different observations, can we go into the mind of that consciousness to create the life that we want? And by adjusting our own glasses of self, we are living. In order to understand how the self can make that connection, you have to know what frequency you want to shift your life into. Peace, joy, love, money, etc. Like, it can be anything at all, can even be power. But that's a different thing, you know, because like I said, there is a cause and effect to everything. So your thoughts also carry energy, carry waves, carry frequency. And so your thoughts and intentions, are they generating good frequency or bad frequency? Again, good and bad is like irrelevant, but like if something works out for me and I feel good about it, then it's good energy, and if I don't like it, it's bad energy, right? So it's a very individual perspective. Somebody might look at a bad situation and say it's a good thing that it happened. Somebody might say, oh my god, how, right? So it's a very individual perspective, but depending on what good bad means to you, what, how you can use this energy, this time that we are in right now, this energy is very freely around and flowing, you know, within us, through us. And so, like, in this understanding, how do you want to take it forward, or how do you want to live your life? I feel like that is a message that wanted to come through. Yeah, so I hope this helps, and I hope it makes sense, and I hope it relates. And I would love to hear your ideas, your thoughts, comments on this. Anything you want me to explain a little more, a little deeper, anything like that. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Love and light. Bye.